Hey everybody, Panda here with my review of the story mode, not online because I haven't played it, mode of The Last of Us. I'm going to be reviewing only the story. I might play the online, then maybe I'll adjust my score, make a separate review for the online, but for now we're just reviewing the story. Warning, there will probably be spoilers. So if you don't have this game yet, and you want to play it yourself eventually, or you're playing it now, click away. There's going to be spoilers, or skip to the end where I'll just give my review at the end. I'm going to try to make this quick because I don't like super long reviews. We're going to start with the story because that's what a lot of people get games for. Gameplay and story are like the main things for a lot of people. The story is you are this guy Joel, and that's Ellie. In the beginning of the game, you actually start the prologue. You start with Joel's normal family life, where you are just an everyday guy, single dad, and what you do is, you're just going through life with your kid, and this is when the epidemic of whatever virus, they don't even really say what the virus is called, this virus epidemic starts, and then Yara, come here. Being silly. Come here. But this virus epidemic starts, and he ends up killing his neighbor, and you're just trying to get out of Dallas. I believe that's where it is, Dallas, Texas. It's somewhere in Texas. You're just trying to get out of this fucked situation, and it's really, really crazy because everything's just going to hell. People are trying to get out. The highway's blocked with cars. There's people everywhere getting into car accidents. There's explosions. There's fires. There's these infected people running around just killing normal people. It's really crazy. I'm not going to spoil the end of the prologue because that's a massive bummer. But people told me they cried at the end of the prologue. Now after the prologue, you enter Chapter 1, which is 20 years in the future. Joel has significantly aged. He's very bitter and angry about everything that happened in the prologue, and he's just doing anything and everything to survive. With this female partner he has, Tess, who's like an olderish woman around maybe her 30s, 40s. They don't really, they're partners, but I don't think maybe they've been romantic. It's hard to tell. They kind of hint like they might have, but it's hard to tell if they've ever been romantically involved or not. They kind of make it sound like they were, but then they sound like they aren't anymore. But you'll see if you played the game or if you are playing the game how that dynamic looks. But basically, you're going through town, and the difference between this and like Resident Evil and those other like post-apocalypse games is the military has full control. They have blocked off certain areas that they consider like quarantine zones. They have checkpoints to get to other areas of towns and cities. You're in Boston now, I think I should specify. I think you're in Boston. I believe you are when you start the Chapter 1, you're Boston. And the military has rations, and they have like complete control of the situation. It's a little bit oppressive even, where people are afraid to talk about things for fear the military would take them. They're hunting down and killing infected that are within the city. Like someone might have snuck out, gotten bit, and now they're infected, and they're just executing them. And as far as everyone knows, there is no cure, there is no vaccine, this is just how life's going to be. But anyway, for whatever reason, they're going across town. I do know the reason, but I'm not going to spoil it, even though it's not a big deal. They're going across town to meet a guy, to deal with him. And, they're crossing through, and they finally get to this guy, and they deal with him. And this chick, whose name is Marlene, she looks like Aisha Tyler or Jada Pinkett Smith. She's the leader of the Fireflies, which is this group that is actually trying to find a vaccine because they believe there is one. They're trying to find a vaccine, and they're frequently attacked by the military because they're considered like a rebel group, but they really just wanted everything to return to the way things were. And they're trying to look for a cure, and that's like their main point, which is why some people side with them, but they don't say they do because the military very much hates them. Because I think the military likes that it has so much control now over everything. And I'm sure if there was a vaccine made, they'd want to be in control of it. But she basically says, I need that guy. And they're all like, oh, really now? You need that guy? And fuck that. And she's like, well, fine, if you're going to mess with my dude, then you have to be the job of delivery boy. Because he was supposed to be a delivery boy of smuggling something to a certain destination. And they're like, fine, what is it? And you're actually smuggling little girl Ellie. And Joel is just an angry guy, so he immediately doesn't really take to liking her at all. If anything, he might be a little angry with her, because she said she's a kid and he considers her naive and stuff. And they're basically saying, you gotta take this girl to this location. I forget what it is, but Joel's like, what are you, like some big important guy's daughter? And they don't really say right away what her big deal is. So everyone just assumes she's like a very important person's daughter, like maybe a politician or a military guy's. But they say take her to this location. They're very vague about the details of like why they're taking her, for what purpose, you know. And they get off on their adventure. Joel, he's not having any of that happy time with her. He's angry about the last like 20 years of his life. He's just angry and bitter because he's seen so much shit, and he's done everything he can to survive with him and his partner Tess. He was not above anything if it meant he survived or got something he needed. So he's not really into Ellie, who is only, I'll make note, is 14 years old. So she was born into this apocalypse. So she doesn't know the normal world, and she actually does question things that happen in the normal world, like ice cream trucks and stuff, and she's like, whoa, this shit's so weird. And yeah, so it's actually kind of cute in a way to see her innocence and just learning about things we consider every day in the U.S. But as you progress through the game, you come to find out why Ellie's such a big person. Warning, massive spoiler, you should have clicked away, but she has a huge mutant, I forget what they don't really have a specific name for the infected, a huge infected bite right there. Some enemy attacked her 3 weeks ago. It does not take 3 weeks for someone to transform in this game. They say it takes like a day, like less than a day even. And what happened was she was bit 3 weeks ago, but nothing happened. She has no symptoms, and she's not transforming into this mutant creature. And that's why they're transporting her to this location, because she could possibly be the vaccine or the cure that they needed. So she's a very big person, but even knowing that she could be a vaccine, Joel still doesn't like her. He's just so angry and bitter. And throughout the game, you meet many good characters, and you lose many good characters, much like you do in any apocalypse. You don't keep everybody throughout the whole game. People die or they move on. And you meet some really great characters, and some of them help you out big time. But you can see more and more as the game progresses, like, Ellie's kind of chipping away at Joel's angry exterior, trying to, I don't know if it's even to be friends with him as much as just make it through this without being yelled, because he's yelling at her constantly. She's a goddamn kid, she can't be trusted with a gun or anything. And it's crazy because he's just so angry that it's like, this is just a little girl. She doesn't know any better. And he's so angry at her all the time. He doesn't want anything to do with her. He just wants to get her to this location and go. But what happens throughout the story is this is progression over a year. All 4 seasons. Spring, summer, fall, winter. And you find that every time you get to a location where you're supposed to meet, something happened to the Fireflies, that they weren't there, or they were killed, or something happened that they had to move, and they say, okay, we gotta move, we can't stay here, we gotta go to this location. So you're literally going across the U.S., walking in a car, on a horseback at one point. You're going across the U.S. You were in Dallas before the outbreak, then you were in Boston, you go to like Oklahoma, I think. You go to Pittsburgh, you go all sorts of crazy places just over this year. And the transitions, I might add, are pretty awesome with the seasons. There's snow in winter, red leaves in the fall, but as they get farther and farther, get closer to their goal, because they have to keep going to different places, but they feel like they're getting closer each time, Ellie is slowly breaking down Joel's defenses to try to be, like, friends with him or at least get along with him. And you can see Joel's various levels of trust throughout the game. First, he trusts her with a rifle, but then, of course, the rifle's too big for her to really carry around and use all the time, so he gives her a pistol. He listens to her jokes if you get her to make the jokes in the game. Like, he's slowly coming around to her, and towards the end of the game, he's, like, talking to her about things like sports. He says he'll teach her guitar. Like, he really does eventually come to love her like she's his daughter, which is so sweet, and it's so nice to see it, and it's so real looking. How he just goes from this angry, bitter guy who wants nothing to do with anyone to this guy who's transporting a girl that's not even related to him, just a kid, to developing a real bond with her like, this is my little girl almost. And it's just the sweetest thing when you finally see it. You kind of hate Joel at first because he hates Ellie almost instantly. But by the end, you're like, this is just so fucking beautiful. And you, like, start tearing up and shit. But you encounter various enemies along the way. Clickers, bloaters, infected, even people like bandits and stuff that just want to steal your shit. They're all various types of enemies. They all kind of have, like, the enemies that are infected all kind of have a similar look. Like, they're like a fungus type head or body. Like, they all have a common theme, but they're at various stages of infection. There's just infected, like, people that are just crazy, like, just going nuts, going, kill you. There's stalkers where they like to hide and then jump out at you and grab you that way. There's clickers that are blind, and they do, like, clicking sounds to try to see you, and if you make too much noise, they'll insta-kill you. And then there's bloaters, these big giant things covered in this armor that you have to keep throwing things at them and shooting them. So you're encountering a lot of shit. And then you finally, after being told to go to like 50 million different places and not finding a person, you finally get to this hospital in, I believe, Oklahoma? Somewhere like that, Colorado, Wyoming, somewhere in the Midwest. And you meet up with Marlene again. She's alive. She's the one that's been taking all these fireflies to different places, trying to find a safe place. She didn't even think Joel was gonna make it. She thought, we're fucked. But Joel's like, I want to see her. I want to make sure she's okay. And Marlene's like, she's not getting surgery because her immunity is, I think they call it cordyceps, are cordyceps growing in her brain. And to make a vaccine, we have to cut those cordyceps out of her brain. And that will make a vaccine, and we will be able to restore the world to whence it was. But the only downside is once you cut the brain, she's gonna die. The surgery will kill her. And Joel, if it was Joel at the very beginning of the game, he would have said, fine, vaccine, kick ass. But now he has such a bond with her, like, that's almost his daughter, even though they're not blood related, that he gets so angry that he storms through that hospital to save her. And I'm not going to spoil how it ends if he actually saves her or if he lets her get away, but it is just so powerful to see the full circle of his emotions from wanting nothing to do with her to trying to save her at the risk of fucking the entire human race. That's basically what his morals are, is fuck people. These last 20 years, I've done so much shit to survive, and people have tried to kill me for stupid shit, like a Band-Aid or something, that it's like, fuck people. I don't think he has any faith that humanity has enough good in them, that this vaccine is worth it. Like, it's crazy to see. It's not even about him, but he does not want this girl to die. And he's like, oh, it was a great story. That story was fantastic. And I like that even though it was like a post-pandemic, they weren't zombies, it wasn't total chaos like typical zombie movies. It didn't play like typical zombie movies with the story. And I like that. And the gameplay, I gotta say, is awesome. You can choose to sneak or gun through certain areas when there's enemies. They always try to make it that you can sneak. They, like, put stuff around where you can use, like, throw distraction items like bottles and bricks, or you can just hide behind stuff. But you can definitely run and gun through. You get various weapons to help you do that. You can craft weapons like nail bombs, smoke bombs, and Molotovs. But sneaking is definitely better because even at parts where you have a lot of ammo, you can quickly just wipe through that ammo. and you play in various types of levels, like a high school, a hospital, a college, a dam. Like, you go through all these crazy levels and you can find stuff. There's collectibles everywhere. There's different kinds of collectibles. And it's just, the gameplay is just awesome. The only thing is which will launch me in the graphics, some parts of this game are very dark and it's hard to see what you're doing or if there's anyone in the room unless you use the sight mode, which illuminates the outline of an enemy if they're making noise or moving around, which is really cool. But if they're standing still, you won't see them, and if they're a really far distance away, you won't see them. But you can upgrade things like your health and your listen mode, which is what they call it, their sight. And it's really dark at some parts and it makes it kind of frustrating, but then again, it's so accurate to what this game is. I mean, let's face it, post-apocalypse, you're not going to see nice, happy sunshine and lights in every level. That leads me to the graphics. These graphics are the bomb. These are like LA Noire, like faces with like the facial recognition, just capturing every spot of someone's face. Of course, these aren't people's real faces, even though that guy does look kind of like the host of Survivor. But the faces are just so real, mixed with like heavy rain, just beautiful graphics everywhere. This is one of the best looking graphical games I've played in my life, which makes me wonder if the Naughty Dog did this on purpose because the Xbox One and the PS4 are coming out later this year. They're like, step it up, motherfucker, better hope your day one games are better than this. And I think they knew that since this game was coming to an end, maybe not a lot of people would be buying PS3 games in an attempt to save up for the new systems. So they said, we're going to make this so bomb that you might skip the console for a few weeks. Like, they really went out of their way to make it bomb with the graphics. But again, it's dark, so it's sometimes hard to see, especially if you're a person like me that records, whether you do it with a camera or a capture device. It's really hard to see some parts, and I'm sorry for that, but it's not an easy game to record. It's definitely not an easy game to record, and even to play it's a little hard, but it is definitely awesome, aside from the darkness. And the sound, the music, is so good. If you just sit in the PlayStation main menu and you flick over the game before clicking to confirm to launch the game, you hear this music. It's like this twangy sound, but it's so eerie and sad. Like, they nailed it with the music in this game. It's just, everything is sad and eerie. Like, that's the whole, there's no happy, upbeat song at any point in the game. Even at the happiest points in the game, there's no real upbeat music. There's always just this level of depression that looms over you when the music's playing. And that music is so unique sounding. They could have done like simple, like, I don't know, band doing a guitar or something. They chose this twangy music, which I don't even know what the instruments are. It's just awesome. Like, oh god. And I think they actually have this, that you can get the soundtrack for this game. I'm not sure, but if you're one of those people that likes the game music, you gotta try like finding the soundtrack to this game because it's freaking bomb. But it is sad. But these graphics are great, fantastic, amazing. They actually are better than LA Noire and Heavy Rain combined. Because the thing with Heavy Rain is they didn't have, not everything was in the highest graphical quality, like little items like cups and stuff. And LA Noire, had its own stuff with it not being super high def. This is so realistic looking, it's mind-blowing. The sound is amazing, it really fits the mood of the overall game. The gameplay is just awesome, how you can actually choose if you really want to run and gun through parts or not, which I did, unfortunately, because I suck at stealth sometimes. The story of this progression between an angry, bitter man just trying to survive with this little girl who just wants to, have a friend and just learn about the world, and seeing them come together, seeing all the characters come and go, it's an overwhelming story. The story is like, wow. I know a lot of people say they buy a game strictly for gameplay, but if you buy a game for story, this is a game you must get. You must get this if you love games with story, because this is like a very powerful story. People told me they cried at parts of this game. I didn't, but man, I can understand the urge to. Now let's get to my review. Naughty Dog, you have earned yourself a 9.5 or a 9.5 out of 10. It is amazing. Aside from the darkness, occasional glitches that they had on day one with the glitch, but that doesn't even matter. They fixed that day one. They're good with fixing their problems, at least unlike some games. This game will grip your heart, give it a nice warm hug at points, and rip it out at others. You will be on an emotional roller coaster with the cast of this game. And my God, if you miss this game, you're missing a really great game. I don't even normally say that about games. I think it's almost impossible to find a true 10 out of 10, but this game is the closest I've ever seen in my life to a 10 out of 10 game. That story was awesome. They really got it right with this game. I highly recommend it. Buy it. If you can find collector's editions online, buy collector's edition. You buy everything for this game. This game is beautiful. It is a work of art. I'm going to go have a private moment with it. This game is actually going to stay in my permanent PS3 collection of games I will never sell or trade in because it was that good. This is something I'm proud of and I would definitely keep in my collection. So, mwah, I love you. The Last of Us, 9.5 out of 10. An amazing game. I don't even give a shit about the PS4, the Xbox One right now because I am so hyped that we can make games of such high quality just on the PS3. And you got a PS3, get it. You got an Xbox and not a PS3, you trade that shit in and you get this. I recommend it to everybody. Panda Lee here, signing off with my review of The Last of Us. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Play this fucking game.